The spaceship Aurora hovered above Orvala's surface, its silver hull gleaming under the planet's twin suns. Commander Rian pressed his hand against the viewport, eyes wide. Below, the land stretched like a living tapestry. Trees with translucent leaves swayed without wind, casting shifting patterns of light on the ground. Strange flowers glowed faintly, pulsing with energy. Rivers shimmered with colors that Ryan could not name. "Beautiful," whispered Toma, one of the junior crew members leaning beside him. "I have never seen anything like this." Ryan nodded, but his mind was busy with plans. Orvala was uncharted territory. Its resources were rumored to be abundant, but little was known about the planet itself. The Aurora's mission was exploration and data collection, but the planet gave an unusual sense of life. It did not feel empty. "Prepare for landing," Rian ordered. His voice was calm, but inside he felt a thrill of excitement. The landing gear extended, touching down softly on the glowing surface. Dust that looked like sparkling crystals rose into the air and then settled again. The ship's engines powered down, leaving a quiet hum. The crew gathered their gear. Ryan, Toma, and the rest of the team stepped onto the ground. The air was warm but crisp, carrying a faint scent of flowers and something mineral. Every step they took made the ground beneath them emit a soft light. "This is incredible," Toma said, crouching to touch a glowing flower. "It feels alive." "Focus," Rian reminded gently. "We have to locate the structures the scanners detected." After a short trek, they reached a clearing where an old building stood. It looked abandoned. Its walls were smooth, made of a strange stone that reflected light like water. Vines of golden color crawled up the sides, moving slightly as if breathing. "This is it," Ryan said, scanning the exterior. "Sensors show energy readings inside. We need to be careful." The crew entered cautiously. The interior was unlike any human architecture. Rooms had no doors, only open passages. Light came from the walls themselves, flowing in gentle waves. A low hum filled the air. It was calming but also carried an odd intensity. "Commander," Toma whispered, "look at this room." Ryan stepped forward. The room was small but familiar. Somehow it felt like a home. A table stood in the center, plain but elegant. Chairs were arranged neatly. A soft glow filled the corners. The room looked ordinary, but Ryan felt a strange pull. Suddenly a voice echoed from the far side of the room. Clear, calm, and commanding. "This isn't your room." The humans froze. They looked toward the voice. Standing there was a woman unlike any human. She was tall and slender, with skin that shimmered faintly. Her eyes were bright and golden, reflecting light like the glowing trees outside. She wore a simple robe that moved as if alive. "I am Nira," she said. "This room belongs to my people. You may not take it." Rian raised a hand. "We mean no harm. We are explorers. We only want to learn about this planet." Nira studied them for a long moment. Her gaze was steady, unblinking. Then she smiled slightly. "Learning is welcome. Claiming is not. You must respect the boundaries of Orvala. This room is sacred. It has existed for centuries, long before your kind arrived." The crew glanced at each other. Toma whispered, "It almost feels like the room knows us, like it wants us here, but—" "Not fully," Rian nodded. "We will not touch anything. We only seek knowledge. Can you help us understand?" Nero's expression softened. "I can teach you, but you must follow rules you do not yet understand. Orvala is alive. Its balance is delicate. Those who ignore its laws bring danger upon themselves." She stepped closer to the glowing walls. Her hand passed through a pattern etched into the surface. Energy rippled, responding to her touch. Light danced around her fingers and the walls. The humans watched in awe, realizing this woman controlled something beyond their comprehension. "Do you see?" Nira asked. "The planet speaks through energy. The room is a link. It is a place of knowledge and protection. You cannot claim it, but you may witness it if you respect it." Ryan swallowed. "We understand. We want to learn. Please guide us." Nira's eyes softened further. "Then stay, but remember, curiosity is welcomed, but greed is punished. The room is not yours. You must not forget that." Toma stepped closer, unable to hide excitement. "Why show us this room first?" Nira's golden eyes glimmered. "Because this room will test your intentions. How you act here will determine your place on Orvala. Respect is the first step. The rest will follow." The crew spent the next hours observing. They moved slowly, touching nothing, speaking softly. Nira watched them, sometimes guiding, sometimes silent. The room seemed to respond to their behavior. Light grew warmer when they were calm, pulsed with energy when they acted in curiosity. and dimmed when impatience surfaced. By the time Orvala's twin suns began to set, casting long golden rays through the glowing windows, Ryan understood the weight of Nira's words. This was more than exploration. This was the first lesson in respect, balance, and understanding in a universe far bigger than they imagined. The human crew realized that Orvala was alive, that Nira was not an enemy, and that this room, this sacred space, was now the center of their first true encounter with a world that demanded more than technology. It demanded heart, mind, and courage. Rian looked at Nira and nodded. "We will follow your guidance. We will not claim what is not ours." Nira's smile widened. "Then perhaps together we can learn something extraordinary." The glowing room pulsed softly, as if agreeing, welcoming the humans into its silent, living embrace. The humans spent the night in the glowing building, though none slept deeply. Outside, Orvala's forest shimmered under the twin moons. The energy from the planet seemed alive, whispering softly in the windless air. Ryan stood near the window, watching the light ripple across the alien trees. He could feel a tension, a quiet awareness that the planet itself was observing them. "Do you think she is dangerous?" Toma asked quietly, standing beside him. Rian shook his head. "No, Nira is cautious, not hostile. But she has power we do not understand. We have to respect her in this place if we want to learn anything." Morning came slowly, with the twin suns rising in gentle arcs. Nira entered the room, her presence soft but commanding. She moved as if part of the light itself, and the glowing walls seemed to pulse around her. "Today," she said, "you will see why I claimed this room. You will witness the power of Orvala, and understand why some things cannot belong to humans." Ryan stepped forward. "We are ready to learn." Nira's eyes glimmered. She lifted her hand and touched the wall near the center of the room. Energy flowed outward in thin streams, weaving into intricate patterns in the air. The humans gasped. It was not magic and it was not machinery. It was something entirely new, a living current that responded to her thoughts and gestures. "This room," Nira explained, "is a focus. It channels the planet's energy. It connects us to Orvala and to all the life on it. Humans do not yet understand how to control this energy safely. If misused, it can harm you and the planet." Toma moved closer, eyes wide. "Can it heal? Can it help us survive here?" "Yes," Nira said, her voice calm. "But only if you respect it. This room chooses those it will aid. Those who act out of greed will only bring destruction." Ryan studied the patterns of energy swirling above them. He realized that Nira was not only claiming the room, she was demonstrating that Orvala itself could defend its territory. Her claim was not just ownership. It was a warning and a lesson. "Why show this to us?" Ryan asked. "Because humans often take without thinking," Nira replied. "They see resources and possibilities, not life. This room is a test. It asks, can you honor the planet without trying to control it?" Ryan nodded slowly. He felt the weight of responsibility pressing on him. "We will not take what is not ours. We will follow your guidance." Nira's golden eyes softened. "Good, then watch closely." She moved through the room, touching objects and walls. The energy followed her, forming shapes like glowing animals and trees. They moved and shifted, responding to her thoughts. The humans felt a strange harmony, as if the room itself was alive and welcoming those who respected it. Suddenly, Nira turned to them, her expression serious. "Some humans will try to claim power without understanding. You may meet them. If you do, you must protect this room and the planet. I cannot always intervene. Orvala protects itself, but your choices matter too." Rian exchanged glances with his crew. "We understand. We will protect it." For hours, Nira taught them to sense the energy, to feel the currents rather than trying to control them. Toma managed to create a small ripple, and it felt as though the room acknowledged him. He smiled with amazement, but Ryan reminded everyone to be careful. One wrong move could trigger unpredictable reactions. "See?" Nira said, her voice both gentle and firm. "This is why the room belongs to us first. We know the rhythms, the patterns. We know the consequences of disrespect. Humans are not ready to claim such power yet." The humans observed quietly, learning patience and restraint. Even simple curiosity had to be balanced with awareness. The building itself seemed to breathe with energy, as if testing them in small ways. Light grew warmer when they acted respectfully and shifted when tension arose. Toma looked at Ryan. It feels alive. I think it wants us to learn, but only if we are careful. Ryan nodded. We are guests here. That is our first lesson. Respect comes before everything else. As the day passed, Nira guided them outside the building to a nearby grove. Trees with golden leaves shimmered like water in sunlight. When she touched a tree trunk, patterns of light spread across the grove. Birds, or creatures that looked like birds, responded by glowing softly. The humans realized that Orvala's life was connected in ways they could barely imagine. You see, Nira said, this room is only one part. The entire planet is alive. Every being, every plant, every stream carries energy. Those who try to take or control without respect bring imbalance. That is why this room is claimed first. It is a symbol, a center of harmony and warning. Ryan and Toma felt the truth of her words. They had come to explore, but the planet had already taught them the first lesson: humility. Orvala was not theirs to claim. Nira's guidance was both a shield and a doorway. As the sun set, the room glowed warmly behind them. Nira stood silently, watching the humans absorb everything. They had not fully understood the room's significance yet, but they knew that staying here meant accepting the rules of the planet and the wisdom of its guardian. Ryan finally spoke. We will honor your claim. We will not touch what is yours. And we will learn, Nira smiled faintly. Then perhaps one day you may understand the room as we do. Until then, remember, this is Orvala, and this is not your room. The humans bowed their heads slightly in respect, feeling a mixture of awe and curiosity. Orvala's energy pulsed softly through the grove, and for the first time, they sensed that their journey had become more than exploration. It had become a lesson in understanding, patience, and trust. The morning on Orvala began quietly. The twin suns rose slowly, painting the glowing forests with soft golden light. The human crew gathered outside the building where Nira had first claimed the room. Every leaf, every flower seemed to hum with energy, and the air carried a gentle vibration that made the skin tingle. Ryan looked around, feeling both excitement and caution. Today we learn more about the planet, he said. Nira is guiding us, and we need to follow her instructions carefully. Nira appeared silently, as if she had been there all along. Her golden eyes reflected the sunlight. Humans often rush to explore without understanding, she said. Patience is the first skill you must master. Orvala does not reveal its secrets to those who act carelessly. Toma stepped forward, eager to begin. We are ready to learn, Nira. Show us what we must do. Nira nodded and led them deeper into the forest. The path was lined with trees whose leaves glowed faintly in different colors. Each step they took caused soft lights to appear on the ground, like footprints of energy. Birds and small creatures with translucent wings watched silently, their bodies shining like tiny lanterns. This forest is alive, Nira explained. Every plant, every stream, every living creature is part of a network. It senses actions, intentions, and thoughts. Those who understand the flow can move safely. Those who ignore it risk harm. The humans followed closely, feeling a mixture of awe and nervousness. Toma reached out to touch a glowing vine, but Nira's hand gently stopped him. Wait, she said. Observe first. Feel the rhythm before acting. The crew paused. They closed their eyes and breathed slowly, trying to sense the energy Nira spoke of. Gradually, they noticed subtle pulses beneath their feet, small currents moving around the forest. The sensation was unfamiliar but calming. After a few minutes, Nira led them to a small clearing. In the center was a pool of water that shimmered with colors shifting like a rainbow. The surface reflected the suns but also moved in patterns that seemed alive. This is a teaching place, Nira said. The pool responds to those who approach with respect. Watch and learn. Do not take anything from it. Ryan knelt by the edge and dipped his hand into the water carefully. He felt a gentle warmth, like the planet itself was welcoming him. Colors swirled around his fingers, forming patterns that seemed to tell a story. The other humans followed, each feeling the pool's response in a personal way. This is Orvala communicating, Nira explained. It can teach those who listen. Your mind must be open and your intentions pure. Only then will the planet allow you to grow. Hours passed as Nira guided them through exercises of observation, patience, and sensing energy. The humans learned to interpret the subtle signals around them. Toma discovered that moving slowly while focusing on the currents made the glowing plants respond gently, while hasty movements caused them to dim or shift erratically. Ryan realized that every living thing on Orvala was connected, forming a vast network of life that humans had never imagined. During a short rest, Toma spoke to Nira. "Why do humans struggle so much to understand this?" He asked. "Because humans often seek control," Nira replied. "Here, control is an illusion." Orvala responds to harmony. "Those who try to dominate will fail. Learning is about cooperation, not conquest." Ryan nodded thoughtfully. "We came to explore, not to conquer. But we still have much to learn." Nira smiled faintly. "Good. The willingness to learn is more valuable than any technology you brought." In the afternoon, they approached a large tree with golden leaves that glowed brighter than the others. Nira placed her hand on the trunk and the tree seemed to breathe, its light spreading into the surrounding area. She gestured for the humans to try. Rian and Toma hesitated but followed her guidance. Slowly, they placed their hands on the trunk, closing their eyes. Energy flowed into them, not violently, but like a gentle current. They felt a connection to the tree, the forest, and the planet itself. It was both humbling and empowering. "You see," Nira said, "Orvala can grant understanding and strength. But only if your intentions are good. Power without respect is dangerous. That is why the room was claimed first. It is a microcosm of the planet's lessons. Here you practice learning before you act in the wider world." As the suns began to lower, casting long golden rays across the glowing forest, Ryan realized something important. This planet was teaching them more than science or technology. It was teaching them humility, patience, and respect for life. Orvala's power was immense, but it was safe for those who understood it. Toma looked around, awe in his eyes. "I think I finally understand why Nira said we couldn't claim the room. It isn't just hers. It belongs to the planet itself. And we are guests here." Ryan smiled. "Exactly. We have to learn from her and from the planet before we can ever hope to explore it fully." Nira watched them quietly. "You have taken your first steps. Remember, learning is a journey, not a destination. Orvala will continue to teach, but only if you listen and act with respect." As the crew made their way back to the glowing building, the forest seemed to hum in approval. The lights of the room welcomed them back, soft and warm. They had not yet mastered the planet's lessons, but they had begun to understand their place here. Rian glanced at Nira. "We will follow your guidance. We want to learn, not take. We will honor this planet." Nira's golden eyes reflected satisfaction. "Then the path ahead is open. The lessons of Orvala will continue, and one day you may become more than mere explorers. You may become allies of this planet, guardians of its balance." The humans entered the room, feeling the soft pulse of energy from the walls. It was no longer just a room. It was a symbol of what they were learning. Patience, respect, and cooperation were more powerful than any tool they had brought. That night, as the twin moons rose and cast silver light across Orvala, the humans slept under a quiet canopy of energy. They dreamed not of conquest but of understanding, and for the first time they felt a part of something far larger than themselves. The humans woke to a faint tremor shaking the ground beneath the glowing building. Ryan opened his eyes and looked toward the window. The forest outside shimmered with unusual intensity. The normally calm currents of energy were restless, moving in sharp, bright pulses. "Something is wrong," Toma whispered, his voice tense. He pointed toward the horizon where another ship had landed. Its design was harsh and metallic, unlike the smooth curves of the Aurora. Smoke rose in thin plumes as figures disembarked. Rian quickly gathered the crew. "Stay calm. These are not our people. Prepare to observe and defend if necessary, but do not engage recklessly." Nira appeared silently behind them, her golden eyes calm but focused. "They have come seeking resources. They do not respect Orvala. You must understand this. Some humans will take without thought. The planet will defend itself, but you are part of that defense." Ryan nodded. "We understand. We will follow your guidance." The rival humans approached the glowing building. They carried tools and devices meant to extract energy. Their movements were careless and the ground pulsed sharply beneath them, warning of the imbalance they were causing. "Stop!" Ryan shouted. "You cannot enter this building. It is protected." The intruders ignored him, pushing forward. Nira stepped into the center of the room, raising her hand. Energy erupted from her fingertips, moving through the walls and out into the forest. The ground shook and the intruders were thrown back by a wave of energy. Their tools sparked and malfunctioned. "This is Orvala protecting itself," Nira said calmly. I warned them, but they ignored the rules. They do not understand the balance they threaten. Ryan saw the intruders struggle to regain their footing. Toma, help me secure the building. Keep the crew safe. Together, they positioned themselves at the entrances. The humans inside the building could feel the energy radiating through the walls. It was powerful, but it did not harm those who acted with respect. The planet had chosen sides, and the humans with Ryan were aligned with its harmony. Nira extended her hands further, and the energy reached into the forest. Trees bent slightly, light flowing along their branches forming barriers of glowing energy. Streams shifted their paths, creating natural obstacles. The rival humans stumbled, confused and frightened by the living responses of the planet. Do you see? Nira asked, her voice steady. Orvala is alive. Those who enter without respect invite consequences. You must protect the balance. The room, the building, and this forest are all connected. Harm one, and the rest reacts. Ryan felt a mix of awe and responsibility. We will protect it, Nira. We will not let anyone disrupt Orvala's harmony. The intruders attempted to push forward again, but every step was met with resistance. Glowing plants grew to block paths, vines lifted like hands, and energy pulses forced them backward. It was clear that the planet itself, guided by Nira, would not allow them to take anything. Toma watched in amazement. The planet is fighting for itself, and we are helping it by respecting it. Yes, Nira said. Humans often think technology is stronger than life, but here, understanding and respect are greater than force. After hours of struggle, the rival humans finally retreated, realizing they could not overcome the living defenses of Orvala. Smoke from their engines mingled with the glowing energy of the forest, creating an eerie contrast. They departed in haste, leaving the humans and the planet unharmed. Ryan exhaled deeply. That was closer than I expected. We could have been in serious danger if Nira had not intervened. Nira's eyes softened. You must remember this. Power is not given freely. Some humans seek it without thought. Your presence here depends on cooperation, patience, and respect. Orvala teaches this lesson to all who enter its domain. Toma stepped forward. I understand now. We cannot take what is not ours, and we must act as guardians, not explorers seeking only gain. Ryan placed a hand on Toma's shoulder. Exactly. We have a responsibility. We are guests here, and our mission is to learn and protect, not to claim or destroy. The crew spent the rest of the day helping Nira restore calm. They moved carefully through the forest, touching plants and streams with reverence, guiding the energy back into gentle patterns. Slowly, the glowing building and the surrounding area returned to its peaceful state. Nira observed quietly. You have done well. Today you faced a challenge not from the planet alone, but from your own kind. This was an important test. You have proven that humans can act with respect even when others do not. Ryan nodded. We learned that our actions affect not just ourselves, but everything around us. Orvala's energy is not just power, it is life itself. As evening approached, the twin moons rose, casting soft silver light over the glowing forest. The humans gathered in the room that Nira had claimed. The walls pulsed warmly, reflecting the planet's approval. This room is a symbol, Nira said. It represents balance, knowledge, and protection. Today you understood why it is claimed. You cannot take what belongs to the planet, but you can honor it and learn from it. Ryan and Toma exchanged a glance. They felt a deep sense of responsibility and pride. They had faced outsiders who sought to exploit Orvala, but they had also realized the importance of humility and respect. Toma whispered, I think we are starting to understand what it means to be part of something bigger than ourselves. Ryan smiled. Yes, and this is only the beginning. Orvala has many lessons to teach, and we must be ready to learn them all. Nira's golden eyes glimmered in the soft light. Tomorrow we continue your training. The planet has more to reveal, and you must be prepared for both beauty and challenge. Respect is the first step, but understanding comes with courage and observation. As the humans settled for the night, the room glowed gently around them. The forest outside whispered softly, a sign of life, vigilance, and trust. For the first time, Ryan felt that humans were not merely visitors. They were becoming part of Orvala's story. The morning air on Orvala carried a soft glow, and the energy of the planet seemed calmer after the events of the previous day. The human crew gathered outside the glowing building, ready to continue their lessons with Nira. They had faced danger and learned the importance of respect, but now a new challenge awaited them, one that would require cooperation and trust. Nira appeared silently, her golden eyes reflecting the twin suns. "Today," she said, "you will take your first steps toward an alliance with Orvala. Knowledge alone is not enough. You must demonstrate loyalty, understanding, and harmony with the planet. Only then will you be allowed deeper access to its secrets." Ryan nodded. "We are ready. Tell us what we must do." Nira gestured toward a nearby clearing. It was filled with glowing plants, shifting streams, and small creatures moving gracefully among the trees. "You must complete a series of tasks that show your respect for life and energy. This is not a test of strength or speed, but of observation, patience, and cooperation." The crew exchanged glances. They had learned to sense the planet's energy, but now they understood the lessons would grow more difficult. "We accept your challenge," Ryan said. The first task was simple but demanding. The crew had to navigate through a dense grove where the paths were constantly shifting. Glowing vines grew or shrank depending on how carefully the humans moved. One wrong step could disturb the balance of energy. "Move slowly," Nira instructed. "Observe the rhythm of the forest. Listen before you act. Orvala responds to thoughtless action with resistance, but to respect it, the paths will guide you." Ryan led the way, keeping his senses alert. Toma followed, careful to place each step precisely. They noticed that when they hesitated and watched the currents of light around the vines, the path seemed to open. When they rushed, the vines blocked them or changed direction. After several tense minutes, they reached the center of the grove. Nira waited there, her presence calm and steady. "You learned patience and observation," she said. "These are essential. Every being on Orvala responds to attention and care. Do not underestimate this lesson." The second task involved communication with the creatures of the planet. Small animals with translucent wings and glowing bodies flew around the humans. Nira instructed them to interact without fear or aggression, to understand their signals and gestures. At first, the crew struggled. The creatures darted away or changed color when humans moved too quickly. But Toma noticed that by mirroring their movements and showing calm intentions, the animals responded positively. Soon they were guiding the humans through the clearing, showing hidden paths and safe areas. "You see," Nira said, "the smallest beings carry wisdom. Orvala teaches those who watch and listen. Cooperation is not limited to humans alone. You must learn to include all life in your understanding." The final task was the most demanding. Nira led them to a pool of water surrounded by towering, glowing trees. The surface shimmered with vibrant patterns reflecting not only the suns but also the energy of those who approached it. "You must create harmony," Nira explained. "This pool reacts to your intentions. If your minds are divided, it will resist you. Only if you act together will the energy flow freely." Rian and the crew concentrated, placing their hands gently on the water's edge. At first, the surface rippled in chaotic waves reflecting fear and doubt. Then Ryan spoke calmly, encouraging the others to focus. They synchronized their breathing and thoughts, aligning with each other and with the planet. Gradually, the pool's surface transformed. Colors blended into smooth patterns, and energy flowed outward into the surrounding forest. The glowing trees responded, bending slightly as if bowing, and the creatures of Orvala hovered nearby, watching in silent approval. Nira observed with a small smile. "You have demonstrated cooperation, respect, and understanding. You have passed the tasks. This is the beginning of your alliance with Orvala." Rian looked at the pool in awe. "We did it together." The planet responded to unity, not force. "Yes," Nira said. "Power alone is meaningless. Knowledge alone is not enough. Harmony is the true path. Remember this lesson, for it will guide you in all your actions here." The humans spent the rest of the day learning under Nira's guidance. She showed them subtle ways to sense energy, to communicate with plants and animals, and to read the patterns that revealed the planet's mood. Every lesson emphasized cooperation and humility. As the twin suns began to set, casting long golden rays over the glowing forest, Nira led the humans back to the building she had claimed. The room pulsed softly with energy, welcoming them. "You are now part of Orvala's protection," Nira said. "You may remain here and the planet will allow you to learn more. But remember, this alliance is a responsibility. You must act with care and respect at all times." Ryan and Toma exchanged glances. They felt pride but also the weight of responsibility. Orvala had given them a gift, knowledge, understanding, and a place in its harmony, but it was not theirs to take lightly. We will honor this trust, Ryan said firmly. We will act as allies, not intruders. Nira's golden eyes reflected satisfaction. Then your journey continues. Tomorrow you will learn about energy flows beyond this forest, about how Orvala connects to other parts of the galaxy. You must be ready for more challenges, but today you have proven yourselves capable. As night fell, the humans settled in the glowing building. The soft pulse of energy from the walls filled the room, a reminder of Orvala's life and guidance. They were no longer mere visitors. They were students, guardians, and allies of a living planet that demanded respect and rewarded understanding. Toma whispered to Ryan, "I think we are beginning to see what it means to belong here." Ryan nodded. "Yes, and belonging means responsibility. Orvala has trusted us. We must not forget that." Outside, the forest shimmered under the twin moons, and the planet's energy flowed gently, acknowledging the humans' growth. For the first time, Ryan felt a true connection between them and Orvala. They had become part of something larger, something alive and magnificent. The morning on Orvala was calm, the twin suns rising slowly over the glowing forests. The humans gathered outside the building, feeling the gentle hum of energy from the planet. After days of lessons and tests, Ryan and his crew sensed that Nira had something important to show them. Today felt different. Nira appeared silently as always, her golden eyes reflecting the morning light. "Today," she said, "you will see the true power of Orvala. The room you have come to respect is only the beginning. Beyond its walls lies energy that can shape worlds, but only if used with wisdom and care." Ryan stepped forward. "We are ready to learn, Nira. Show us what we must understand." Nira led them through the forest to a hill that overlooked a vast valley. Streams of glowing energy ran like rivers through the land, and trees shimmered in synchronized waves of light. At the center of the valley was a large crystal formation, pulsating with energy in every color of the spectrum. "This crystal," Nira explained, "is a nexus. It connects Orvala to its life force and to other parts of the galaxy. Energy flows through it, sustaining the planet and influencing nearby systems. It can grant knowledge and strength, but only to those who respect balance." Toma looked at the crystal in awe. "It is beautiful and alive. I can feel it pulsing." "Yes," Nira said. "Its energy is conscious in a way. It responds to intention. Those who seek power without respect will be rejected. Those who act with care will be guided." Ryan studied the crystal. "So the room was just a lesson, a small part of this larger system?" Nira nodded. "Correct. The room focused energy in a safe environment, allowing humans to practice patience, observation, and cooperation. Now you see the larger flow. Understanding this nexus is the next step in your growth." She gestured for the humans to approach. "Do not touch the crystal yet. First, observe. Sense its patterns, the way energy moves, the way it responds to each of you." The humans stepped forward slowly. The air vibrated softly as they approached, and each felt a personal connection to the energy. Ryan sensed currents of knowledge moving through him, hints of wisdom about the planet and its balance. Toma felt warmth and encouragement, as if the crystal welcomed their cooperation. "This energy can elevate humans," Nira said, "but only if you are ready. Misuse can destabilize the planet, harm life, and create imbalance across systems. You are not here to take. You are here to understand, to grow, and to act responsibly." Ryan nodded, feeling the weight of her words. "We will not misuse it. We want to learn and protect, not control." Nira's golden eyes reflected approval. "Good. Then you may proceed with guidance." She extended her hands, and currents of energy flowed gently from the crystal into the humans. It was not overwhelming, but it filled them with insight. They saw visions of the planet's history, the growth of its forests, and the delicate harmony between creatures and energy. They understood how every action, no matter how small, affected the whole. "This is why the room was claimed," Nira said softly. "It was a preparation. Only those who learned respect, patience, and cooperation could safely connect to this nexus." "You have demonstrated these qualities." Toma turned to Ryan, eyes wide. "I never imagined energy could feel alive like this. Like it is guiding us, not just giving power." Ryan smiled. "That is exactly it. This isn't just about strength. It's about understanding, connection, and responsibility." Nira nodded. "The humans who came before you often sought power and resources. They failed because they did not listen. They did not learn. Orvala allows only those who respect life to share in its knowledge. You have earned that trust. As the day passed, Nira taught them to interact with the flows of energy in the valley. The humans practiced sending currents through the streams and trees, feeling how their thoughts and intentions influenced the planet. They realized that patience and focus were as important as courage. Ryan noticed that the crystal seemed to respond differently to each crew member. Toma's curiosity sparked patterns of light that moved like gentle waves. Ryan's careful observation created steady streams of energy. The team began to see that Orvala adjusted to their character, rewarding harmony and correcting imbalance. By afternoon, they were exhausted but exhilarated. The connection to Orvala's energy was unlike anything they had experienced. It was not a tool or weapon. It was a living, guiding force. Nira spoke quietly. Now you understand the full importance of the room. It is a symbol, a training ground, and a test. What you feel here is not granted lightly. Remember, your intentions shape the energy and your actions shape your future. Ryan looked at the glowing valley, feeling awe and responsibility. We will honor this trust, Nira. We will not take what is not ours. We will act wisely and carefully. The sun began to set and the valley glowed with soft light, the crystal pulsing gently like a heartbeat. The humans stood together, feeling that their journey had changed. They were no longer just explorers. They were allies, learners, and guardians of something far greater than themselves. Nira smiled. Tomorrow you will return to the room. You will begin to apply what you have learned and prepare for deeper tasks. Orvala will continue to guide you, but the choice to act responsibly will always be yours. Ryan and Toma exchanged glances. They understood that the adventure ahead was not about conquest or glory. It was about respect, wisdom, and partnership with a planet that demanded care and rewarded those who listened. As night fell over the glowing forests, the humans returned to the building, feeling a new sense of purpose. The room pulsed softly, welcoming them back, a reminder of the lessons learned and the responsibilities yet to come. For the first time, Ryan felt the weight and the honor of being part of Orvala's story. The humans were not merely visitors. They were part of something living, something extraordinary, and they understood that the planet's trust had to be earned every day. The morning air on Orvala was still and warm, the twin suns rising over forests that glowed gently. The human crew gathered outside the glowing building, feeling the quiet pulse of energy from the planet. Today marked the final stage of their journey with Nira, the alien woman who had first claimed the room. Nira appeared silently, as always, her golden eyes reflecting the sunlight. Today, she said, you will take your place as allies of Orvala. The lessons you have learned, the tests you have passed, and the respect you have shown have all led to this moment. The planet recognizes your intentions. You may now share in its protection and guidance. Rian stepped forward, his expression both humble and determined. We are ready, Nira. We will honor this trust and act as guardians, not intruders. Nira nodded. Good. First, you must return to the room. It is the center of Orvala's teaching, the place where energy flows converge. There, you will demonstrate understanding and unity. Only together can humans truly harmonize with the planet. The crew entered the building, feeling the familiar pulse of energy from the walls. The room glowed warmly, responding to their presence. Nira guided them to the center, where the patterns of energy shifted in response to their movements. Stand together, Nira instructed. Focus your minds and hearts on cooperation, not on control. The room and the planet will respond to your harmony. Rian and Toma shared a glance, then closed their eyes. They concentrated, feeling the energy flow beneath their feet and through their hands. The currents of light in the room moved around them, reacting to their unity and calm. Slowly, the energy shifted from gentle pulses to steady streams that connected every corner of the room. You see? Nira said softly. Orvala responds to intention. Energy without purpose can be dangerous. Strength without wisdom is meaningless. Today, you show that humans can act with both. The walls of the room pulsed brighter, reflecting the combined focus of the humans. Light streams wove together above their heads, forming patterns of harmony and balance. The humans could feel the planet's energy embracing them, acknowledging their respect and readiness. Ryan opened his eyes and looked at Toma. This is incredible. It feels like the room itself is alive, like it understands us. Yes, Nira said, and it does. The room is a symbol, a training ground, and a link to the planet. You have honored it. Now you may officially become guardians of Orvala. She raised her hands and energy flowed outward from the room into the forests. Trees bent gently, streams shimmered with new patterns, and creatures of Orvala gathered near, their bodies glowing softly. The humans felt a profound connection to the land, the air, and every living thing around them. This is more than power, Ryan said. It is understanding, respect, and responsibility. We are not just visitors. We are part of this planet now. Nira's golden eyes reflected approval. Exactly. Humans often believe they must conquer or claim. Here you have learned a different truth. Harmony is stronger than force. Patience is more valuable than haste. Cooperation is the foundation of all progress. Toma knelt by the energy stream flowing along the floor. I feel like Orvala is teaching us not just about energy but about life itself. Yes, Nira said. And the lessons will continue. Your responsibility is ongoing. You must act with care, protect the planet, and guide others who may come here. Orvala's trust is not permanent unless it is earned every day. Rian looked around the room at his crew. They had grown from explorers seeking knowledge to allies prepared to defend and protect. The challenges they had faced, the rival humans, the tests of patience, the lessons of harmony, had shaped them into something more than they were when they first arrived. From now on, Ryan said, we work with Orvala not just for ourselves, but for all who depend on it. We are partners, not conquerors. We will honor this planet and its life. Nira smiled faintly. You speak wisely. Today you are part of Orvala's story. Tomorrow you will continue to learn, to explore, and to protect. The planet is alive and it trusts you. Do not forget that trust, for it is more valuable than any treasure. As the twin suns set, casting long golden rays across the glowing forests, the humans left the room. The air was filled with quiet energy, and the trees and streams seemed to pulse in approval. Every living being in the forest acknowledged their presence as allies, not intruders. Rian paused at the edge of the clearing, looking out over the valley where streams of glowing energy ran like rivers. We have learned more than we imagined, he said. Orvala has shown us patience, respect, and cooperation. We will carry these lessons wherever we go. Toma nodded, eyes wide with wonder. I think this planet has changed us. Not just our skills, but who we are. We are part of something bigger now. Nira appeared beside them, her presence calm and steady. The room, the valley, and all of Orvala will continue to guide you. Remember, knowledge is not only to be used, but to be honored. You are now guardians. Act with wisdom, and the planet will thrive. As night fell, the twin moons rose, bathing the glowing forests in soft silver light. The humans returned to the building, feeling a sense of peace and purpose. The room pulsed gently, a reminder of lessons learned and responsibilities embraced. For the first time, Rian felt truly connected, not just to Orvala, but to the wider universe. Humans were capable of understanding cooperation and harmony with life beyond their own world. They were not merely explorers or visitors. They were partners, allies, and guardians of a living, breathing planet. Nira's golden eyes watched them, reflecting quiet satisfaction. The humans had learned respect, patience, and the value of harmony. They had become part of Orvala's story, and the planet had accepted them. The glow of the room and the forests stretched into the night, a symbol of hope, partnership, and the extraordinary potential of humanity when guided by wisdom and care. Rian looked at Toma and the crew. This is just the beginning. Orvala has given us trust and knowledge. Now it is our turn to protect and learn. Toma smiled, and we will. Together, with Nira and Orvala, we can do something remarkable. The humans stood silently, feeling the heartbeat of the planet around them. Orvala was alive, and they were part of it. From this day forward, they would honor its trust, protect its life, and carry its lessons into the galaxy. The story of Orvala and its human allies had reached a new beginning, full of promise, understanding, and hope.